injection in the Web Security Academy. I've already logged in here to the labs. So over here, I should be able to find OS Command Injection. There we go. And here's some labs. So let's open this one in another tab. And I'll start the lab, which will take a few seconds, and then we'll read about this. In the product stock checker, there's a command injection vulnerability. And to win by doing the whoami command, so we need to find the product stock checker. That's still loading. I guess I'll look at the solution. But yeah, just give it one pipe whoami, that's what they say. So this is like the ping form one that you did. So here, the product stock checker. Oh, is it view details? I think it is. And then here's check stock. Okay, so this is going to be the request. So I'm going to clear out all the old stuff to make it easier to find the interesting stuff. And I go to my proxy. Here's the history. So I clear the history. All right, now I run this stock checker, check stock, and it tells me there are 43 units. So here's the request that did that. There's the request. And down here is product ID and store ID. So I'm going to send that to the repeater. And as now in the recommendation, they used a pipe. I wonder if a semicolon will work. I'll do a semicolon ID here and see what that does. And it did work. This is the ID command being executed. So I was able to execute it with a semicolon. What they did was pipe whoami, which should be pretty much the same thing. Whoami gives you similar information. Whoami, extra operand 1. Oh, well, that's a little rude. But it did give me home Peter. So let's see what, it didn't have exactly the effect I expected. They said in the store ID, oh, well, I guess both parameters are vulnerable, and they didn't tell us that. Product ID is vulnerable, although a little messed up. Semicolon seems to work better there. But store ID is also vulnerable. So if you do that, you get the whoami, Peter. Okay, so that's interesting. There's more vulnerabilities than they told us about, but that's the point. So that was very easy. And like you say, these are all pretty easy as you go up gradually in difficulty. Here's blind command injection, and this is a lot like the blind SQL injection you did in the project earlier before we started using the Academy. It's got a command injection, but it doesn't print the output of the command. So what you have to do is do something that will take time, and the simplest thing is ping 10 times 127.0.0.1. So let's find the feedback function and then put in this in the email parameter. Pipe ping, and then 2 pipes at the end. They like to use these pipes in these burp ones. I usually use semicolons, but they seem to like pipes better. In most cases, they work about the same. So there should be a feedback function. Let's find it. Oh, here, submit feedback. Okay. So if I go to submit feedback, then I can fill in a form, and I can put in a name, and then an email, a@b.com, and then a subject, and then a message. Okay, now I'm ready to send it. So I go to burp, and I throw away the old stuff to get it out of the way with clear history. Now I send this. Okay, and I guess it did something. Okay, so here it is. Now I send that to the repeater. And here's the post sending this data. And what they said was, put this in after your email, pipe ping minus C10. And now when you send first let's run it without that. So if I send it now, the response comes back in 2 seconds. But if I put in this in the email, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see, it takes much longer. So it did execute these ping commands, even though I can't see the results. So I can run code on the server. Now I verified that, and now I have to, it's a matter of developing code that would do what you want to do. And I clean up some of these extra tabs here. All right, so let's go back. So that's that one. What was the, yep, takes 10 seconds to return. Okay, fair enough. All right, that's blind command injection. And we can probably, here's another blind command injection with output redirection. Let's try this one. So here, in the feedback function, you have command injection. It executes a shell command containing the user supply details. The output is not included in the response. However, you can use redirection to write into this folder, var ww images, and this is like the one you did with the Drupal server I had, where you could run a script and you could run commands, but you had to send the output into a file, which you then look at. You had to keep making a different file. So let's get this running and take a look at their solution. They say in the email, you do who am I, and then you send it into var ww images output.txt, and that'll create a file. And then now use burp to intercept and modify the request that loads an image of a product. This is how you trick it. Okay, there's other ways to do it. We'll play with this a little bit. Here's the stuff to throw in the email. So let's go here. All right, there's the feedback function. So I'll put in this and this. Some stuff there and some stuff there. Okay, now go to proxy and clear the history. Now send this form up. Okay, there it is. Send this to the repeater. And now what they said was take the email and add this to it. This will take who am I and it'll put it in a file called output.txt. So that will run. Now, it presumably ran. I don't know that it ran, but the way to find it is now take the code that displays an image, which is here. If I go back, that's the feedback function. I want to get back home. Home here. Here's a home button. All right. And so these requests that load an image, now what burp they said is take the request that loaded an image and modify it to load you the other file, which is a possibility. So to do that, I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing before. I'm going to clear the old stuff, clear history. Then I'm going to load an image, right-click, open image in new tab, which is here. And now I have to make it stop hiding image content. So I have to click here and check images, apply and close. So now I see the get, and see this will load the file name. So if I modify this to load the file name, which was output.txt, then I should be able to see it. Oh, here it is, file name equals, so output.txt, right there. Now if I send that, I'll get the answer, and here's what I did, who am I? So that's what the instructions they had. Now I think you can do it in a more easy way by just looking up here. In the URL is that file name. This is like the example from the lecture. I don't actually need burp for this. I can just change the name up here to output.txt. And there it is. That's the name of the user. So anyway, now there's a lot of ways to do it. The burp hints give you one way. So anyway, you should be doing a few of those. And that's all I wanted to show you for this class today. Let me clean things up. Now, I'd like to answer questions that may come up. The problem is I left my power charger at another college, so I'm running out of power. So I'm going to have to move to a different machine